Our master may potentially be a terrorist, but at least he's supportive in between chaos-induced mission. We are reaching the finish line. Let's jump into some more Witch Hat. Second to last episode. Make sure you leave that like, though, share your support. Subscribe and ring that bell if you happen to be new around here. And of course, you can catch my full live reactions over on Patreon. Let's jump into this bad boy. Look at that. I love how, like, for a moment, it looks like he's innocent. It's like, yeah, things are going to work out. It's like, oh, coming home with me. You can sleep next to Brush Buddy. But just remember, Brush Buddy owns the house. So if Brush Buddy tells you to sleep outside, you sleep outside. I really feel like they're all going to learn a little bit from each other, and it's going to bring them all out into a different version of themselves that's a little more evolved from where they started. So when someone looks at him, he's too nervous. And I mean, based on who his teacher is, I mean, yeah, he's definitely not getting shit done. Bro's just like, I'm going to my hidey hole. It's my little emo phase. Leave me alone. So rather than this being the spell that solves crossing the bridge, this is the spell that allows him to feel invisible so he can then start drawing the right spells to cross the bridge. I mean, yeah, I mean, who's to say you can't cast spells? I mean, your master will, for sure. That's why you dump your master and come for us. Now, on one hand, a little bondage with Best Girl. Nothing to shy away from. Unfortunately, this might be deadly. Let's let it play out, though. Listen, the only one who was supposed to give you a mouthful was... Alright, next episode, hit us. It's very clear who the true villains are in this show, and that is the teachers. There is not a lot of good parental guidelines in this show. Like, listen, I love my boy Keyfree, but bro's one step away from joining a terrorist organization or forming his own. Euini's teacher, abusive son of a bitch. Richeh's teacher, little strict, not the best for her type of mentality. It just feels like when you really take a step back, if the teachers match the students' needs, a lot of terrorist chaos would probably not happen. And that's the biggest problem in this series. Listen, I don't know much about the Brimmed Caps other than they're terrorist scum that probably need to all rip bozo. But at the end of the day, I'm going to assume they had some bad teachers too. At the end of the day, bad teachers. But you know who wouldn't be a bad teacher? Richeh. This girl's out here telling you to believe in the her that believes in you. And it's like, God damn it. Maybe. I'm interested, right? Because I do think there is an element she needs to learn herself. And that is, sometimes elements of the rules should be followed. That sometimes maybe you do have to color inside the lines and not go outside. But I do think her personality is important, and I think it is important for her not to be neutered in terms of, like, not having that freedom, because, I mean, her freedom is literally her individuality, right? But at the same time, we are dealing with magical mayhem, which if we don't, you know, who knows what type of chaos. I mean, we started the show off with Coco mutatingly killing her mother because of, you know, someone just doing her thing. She's an interesting character and has quickly risen to be one of, if not the most interesting characters that we'll have to focus on potentially in season 2. It's so interesting because I really thought walking into this episode that the three of them, they were all going to learn something from the other, right? I kind of felt that Agat would probably learn to be a little more carefree, a little more less uptight, potentially by the end of this whole arc. Euini was the one that I thought would gain a little confidence, and Richeh would learn to follow the rules a little bit. And I still think that's a possibility. The unfortunate thing is that Hot Sensei has been eliminated for the time being, and kids now have to fend off cultists who want to take us back to their van with no windows. See, before she disappears in the bondage of chaos, we pretty much get told, don't listen to anything they say. So it seems like their initial play will probably be some sort of brainwashing and manipulation. It's probably going to be some sort of spell, which is interesting because she immediately... Now, this could just be a natural gut, parental, motherly instinct of, like, just don't trust the strangers. But I almost wonder if something has happened in her past that she knows what they're capable of and what their tactics are. So the idea that there could be a spell that could try to manipulate their memories or convince them they are actually the allies. Because the interesting thing is a character like Richeh, it's very easy to see how she goes down the wrong path because of that. I don't want to follow the rules. I want to do my own thing. And then in comes a cult who says, hey, we do our own thing. We don't make you be confined in that box. And I do think that's how they're going to try to influence her mind. I don't think it will work after what I saw in this episode, but had we cliffhanger like this at the end of last episode, I definitely think it'd be more of a possibility. But seeing how she navigated this episode, I trust she'll probably be fine. The unfortunate thing is that we have 3 very impressionable kids with 3 very powerful emotions. We have someone who's absolutely terrified to cast magic around people, who, you know, made some major character development, of course, with his little shadow robe. You have the fuck you, I do what I want attitude, and then we have the arrogance, that kind of like, I can do anything and I deserve to be at the top of the food chain with all the other, like, I can see how this cultist bastard could easily manipulate all 3 of them, and I'm interested how each of them will have to overcome a trial, so to speak, right? I will say, though, my overall highlight of the episode was Euini. I think everything they did with his backstory and his present day content, the fact that you have to be, because this is a big test, right? Because we know that mages aren't allowed to cast spells in front of the general public. So it makes sense that this is a test built around casting spells among your fellow witches without them knowing you're casting spells or how you're doing it. And the concept of him being able to almost look like a limbo character and be able to feel invisible while also be in front of people, it's such a clever way to go about this. And of course, I know damn well that should we succeed in all this, his teacher's going to see this and be like, fuck you, you're not allowed to do that anymore. And hopefully that means Master Keyfree, despite his questionable nature, adopts him into his household instead. Because right now, the teachers be fucking wilded, and each teacher has their own teaching style that will work for some people. But that kind of uptight, fuck you, you know, criticize, you don't criticize someone who clearly has low self-esteem like that. You know, you could criticize someone like, honestly, a god, the way that Euini's master probably has done all his life, and it's not going to be the worst thing for a character like her, because it might actually fire her up, to be honest. Might piss her off, but, you know, there's layers. I mean, it's the same thing when it comes to Richeh's teacher about, like, hey, you need to stay inside the lines, you need to be confined in that box. She has such a different worldview that it was not the type of teaching that she needed. And that's really the fundamental issue with the kids in general in this show, is that they have the wrong teachers for the wrong fucking situations. And in doing so, we're breaking students' mentalities way too hard, to the point that a cult has the ability to manipulate them to the dark side, more or less. I mean, it's no surprise that she ultimately used the ribbon technique, given that the ribbon's in the flashback and, you know, present day and everything. It's just really cool how she pretty much said, fuck you guys and following the rules. I'm gonna do my own thing. And it worked out. And honestly, I like how each of them did their own thing. I still think that whole, like, shadow rope thing is so fucking cool. What a good show. Very good show. 1 episode to go. Potentially a diabolical cliffhanger, depending on how quickly they resolve everything that has happened at the end of this episode. I think I remember reading that season 2 is in production. I don't think it's been officially confirmed, but, you know, the leaks that confirmed it are always right. So we will get more. It will just be interesting to see how long it takes to get it. But you can let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the teachers in this show? And how they really does, because I guarantee you at some point we're going to get some goddamn cultist backstory, and it's going to turn out that their teachers suck there. Teachers are the issue in this show, and if you disagree with me, you're damn wrong. That's down below, though. Leave a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell, of course, Patreon, full live reactions over there and other exclusives, because, you know, I got to give those video shows too, because my patrons make it all possible over here on YouTube. All right, so today we got Kim Andre, Jacob, Conrad Sosin, Tobias, Cash Farmer, Flav Dorks, Wen2X, Drift, Ukando, Linkitsu, and we also have a Gutter Snipe, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and have a good one.